Things like this tells me that, without the understanding of my theory of HSD, which is a grand unification theory in the social sciences and humanities, which explains our devolution through a variety of human domestication syndromes, currently accelerating. Well, just always accelerating and compound interest kind of thing. And how we've passed tipping points, and probably in the 1960s, to be able to self-correct. And when I realized that, eventually I had to give up on the worldview of humanism, which seems as supernaturally based if you evaluate our species efficiently without suffering from human chauvinism. That it's not a likely worldview to be successful unless we acknowledge, or had started acknowledging, the concept of HSD and how it's devolved us. But it's, tipping points have passed, so you can only mitigate things. You can't problem solve them. There's a difference. So one thing I'll do is I have a vlog on my YouTube, and it says 0.00, I don't know, something 17% or whatever of, it's just a number that's really small that I showed to show that this is what it's been like living among the Homo communia. And here's a recording. And here's the evidence of the conversations before and after this recording. And these are supposedly the people that think they're as brilliant as Elon Musk or Trump or whatever. And Bezos or Metaberg or whatever. But really they so lack a healthy balance of different types of intelligence and human thinking tools. And of course they lack the ability to see themselves objectively, not just as a species, but as individuals, right? Because we don't prioritize self-actualization or personal development in our cultures. We didn't prioritize it before, but we had elements to support it. But now I can't find evidence of those things anymore. There might be people that give high level or energy workshops, but sometimes you can really assess within the first hour of that workshop. Heshy is a funny character I just discovered on Saturday Night Live, with that actress that I think is very talented and beautiful and creative. And it's an example sometimes of somebody who does these workshops but who has a limit. Say, if she compares herself to low standards, she's doing great, and people with lower standards will come to her workshops. But the thing is they're still not human standards. So what I wanted to say watching this video, and people talking as experts, is they only have a tiny view of what's really happening, and they can't grasp, they might look for motives. Why are all these fat cats that aren't that bright and that are very clueless about their actual measurements of who they are as primates, why are they doing all this, which will backfire, and even more as HSD accelerates within their lifetime or their children's lifetime, and there'll be a collapse. And it's because they can't reference the outside world, right? They can't deviate from domestication. That is, they're brainwashing themselves. When it boosts their ego to see their own text or videos or comments or answers to journalists, they don't realize they're harming themselves, and they boost their own manufacturing of consent propaganda and brainwashing. They're brainwashing themselves to be even less efficient up here, even though they already are not. They don't see it. They don't see that what they're doing is just the norm of greedy capitalism, let's say, but that it will also collapse. There's nothing good that'll come out of it, even as they would define what is good. And they can't see that because they're stuck in this. They're just puppets of mimetic forces, and they don't get it. So it's not like there's a big plan or a super intelligence, or this, project 2025 is. It's easy to break it down to show what they're trying to achieve won't work. And it's because they're the ones trying to achieve it, really, is what it is. And it's ridiculous. But if you look at what's wrong with our species, I mean, I don't have access to these people, and I'm going to send again an invitation soon to the Collaborology group, who are so full of their own pathologies. And I'm going to say, well, I'm going to now do an assessment and reanalyze this video of us that I called, defending my PhD in Martin parasology. Would you like to participate? And it's unlikely they will succeed or even pass on the information to the others, that I'm not going to bother trying to find all of their contact information. It's predictable. So I'm going to do it by myself. And when I do it, I'm going to show them what they could have seen themselves if they made an effort. But even if they watch what I did when I made the effort to teach them about themselves, based on evidence they provided, is they still won't have the attention span or the ability to see it. And it'll be very clear. It'll be very clear. So, oh, it's strange. We had planned for this, and this is how you sabotaged it. Or you asked me this is how I respond. And then your next response shows you didn't want to acknowledge at all my response to your question. So why did you ask the question? It's really that. Woohoo! And it's the same thing with these rooms of elites here wearing suits who don't realize that their ties make them the slave of their own selves. And it's because they suffer from HSD and whatever they're trying to do, which they think is better even for them and their friends and their families, really isn't. And the evidence is there during their lifetime to see it, but they can't see it. So it's pretty sad.